Tragic story of Amelia Bambridge raising the question today of keeping our younger Brits safe whilst abroad. Our travel agency over in Felixstowe with some obvious points raised there about itineraries and keeping folks updated, utilising technology. So there is, some kind of reporting back as to your whys and whereabouts. Vicky Carter joins us on the programme, who is not only young, but a very keen traveller. Vicky, good morning to you.
Morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you for joining us. Fair to say you've been around the block a little bit.
Yes, I have been, yeah, and I love doing so, to be honest. I mean, just like Amelia, I travelled solo since the age of 18, 19, and I'm 27 now, so it's been quite a long time, really.
You've been to such places as New Zealand, you've done Southeast Asia, you've done all of that. Now, what were the folks' reaction when at 18 you said, right, I'm getting a backpack, I'm going by myself, see you later?
Well, I grew up abroad, so I'm used to travelling all the time, and I'm quite a nomadic person anyway. So when my parents heard the news I was travelling, they knew that there was no arguing with me. I'm stubborn, and it was going to happen. And my mum actually spent a lot of time slowly following my footsteps around the world. So when I was on my gap year at 18, New Zealand and Australia, so she followed me just a few steps behind me. And I think that obviously they were very worried and anxious, but as the years have gone on, I mean, I told them about this site I was using called Couchsurfing, which is basically like a Facebook site for travellers,
right,
where local people can host travellers. So people you don't know, you sign up, you stay at their house, and you can do the same, vice versa. And so when I was telling my parents, like, oh, yeah, so I'm broke in New Zealand, I'm going to stay with this Maori guy in Rotorua, because I can't afford to stay in a hostel. And I think they thought I was joking. They were like, okay, have fun, good luck, right, not knowing I was actually doing it. So,
but you do understand, you get that us parent types do get very concerned about all of this. So there has to be a little bit of to and froing, all right?
Of course. I mean, that's completely understandable. I mean, I think the statistics of it was 60 young Brits have unfortunately passed away in Thailand just in the last couple of years. So obviously those statistics are really high, but then you can mirror, I mean, just in London itself, over 100 young people of all ages really have been stabbed. So to be honest, it can happen anywhere. And I think it's about having this safe protocol that you follow, and you're aware of the key things to look after yourself and guard yourself, because at the end of the day, you can't live under a rock the entirety of your life. And of course, there's malicious people out there in the world, but there's also wonderful, beautiful people who are willing to share their lunch for you, invite you to weddings.
Wow.
Yeah, make sure you get home safe. I mean, I'll be blunt here. I have been assaulted in India, the same country I've been assaulted in. I've been invited to people's weddings, and it's crazy.
So you were assaulted whilst travelling alone?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's got to be scary.
Yeah. I mean, even people following you, saying about the things they're going to do to you, that's pretty terrifying too. It hasn't put me off. I know there'll be people listening being like, you're mad. But no, it hasn't put me off. In spite of it all, I said, well, that's just one person. I can't paint someone with the same brush. There's so many other instances where people's generosity has shone through. And yeah, like I said, the world is a beautiful place. So why would I let one person hold me back?
Why? What would you say to our estate agent who said, well, you know what? Going in a group is by far and away the safer option. Now, you've chosen primarily not to do that. Is there any reason?
I like the independence. I like the freedom to be able to change direction in any way possible, stay in different places. I mean, the beauty of traveling solo is that you can choose when you want to hang out with people. You can choose where you want to go, how much time you want to spend with other people, because the main areas like tourist attractions, restaurants, hostels, bars, you can meet people all the time there, but at the end of the day, you might not connect with someone, and you've got the freedom to just pick up and go wherever you want to, which I think is freeing. That's the whole point of traveling. I mean, there's been many instances I've traveled with people who I thought I'd get on with, and then I haven't. So I'd rather just go on my own and meet people along the way.
Having said all of this, and I get the whole notion of broadening the mind, and it's a wonderful experience, of course, but you just telling us that, as a parent, I'd have been on that plane and I would have handcuffed you to the seat next to me, brought you home and shut you in your bedroom for 4 years.
I think my parents have given up on that. They're like, okay. I've been very honest. I've told my parents, and I think they are probably always living in a state of genuine concern. And my brother has said to me many a time, I'm surprised that you're still here.
Wow.
But because being a teenager, I have got myself in silly situations, but I've learned from that. And now the traveller as I am now, I'm such a more responsible, mature traveller that all of the advice given, I'm the person advocating it and saying, you should be learning the language and respecting the religion and understanding the country and embracing the culture and dressing like a local as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's look at some of those things you've picked up along the way. This advice you can impart upon us as an experienced young traveller. What would be the top 5 things you would deploy to ensure some safety?
Well, I think, those key things. So it's respecting the people and their culture. I mean, for example, many people go to Bali in Indonesia and it's predominantly Buddhist, but not many people recognise that Lombok and Java are predominantly Muslim. So you have to adhere to different cultures, even in the same country. Different islands will have different thought processes.
Yeah.
Bali and Gili T are used to seeing tourists, whilst places in Java, they've never even seen a tourist. And it's the mentality of you're an outsider. They're curious about you. They're interested in you. So if you're dressing inappropriately, then they're going to take that in a different frame of mind.
Sure.
I mean, even when I was in Koh Phangan 7 years ago, I was staying in a hostel, and the owner, the Buddhist owner, said, there are people who are intoxicated all the time, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should be looking after them and then he paused, and I thought, okay, well, there we go. That's the situation that local people feel like. It's horrible to hear that. But so it's dressing like a local is one thing, and embracing the culture and learning the language, respecting people. And if you're learning the language and you're trying out the food, then more local people are going to be interested in you and are willing to help you get on your way home safely, or recommend a good restaurant for you to go to, or give you some good advice and say, stay away from that place. They might try scam you, that kind of thing. So I think those are the key things as well. But also it's also understanding your gut instinct. When something doesn't feel right, then listen to that. Then go away from that particular person, that particular area. I mean, carrying a torch, walking late at night as well. Walking alone at night, I would definitely say, is a no-no. I mean, once when I was in Pokhara in Nepal, I was just walking along the waterfront, and a guy started following me and approaching me and saying all these horrible things. And I thought, right, well, it's pitch black. I'm not going any further with this guy behind me. So I saw a restaurant to the side of me, walked straight into the restaurant, found some tourists and said, I've just been made feel really uncomfortable. Do you mind if I sit and join you for dinner? And they were like, yeah, sure, join us. They were German. One of them was a police officer. You get on really well and just have a good old chat.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to hear some reassurance from you, Vicky. You've scared me senseless now.
What? No, don't be. I'm just being honest, because at the end of the day, people are wonderful as well, and I just don't think that you should be held back from a few experiences when on the whole generally it's positive and anything could happen. I mean, it could happen in Ipswich, in Colchester, in London.
This is very true. Absolutely right, yeah. And as you say, you can't let these few incidents put you off. From what I gather from you, and you've alluded to it already, has been a wonderful experience travelling around parts of the world.
It's been life-changing, yeah. I'm really happy I did it, and I wouldn't change it at all.
Wow. So when your son or daughter says to you, right, Mum, I'm off around the world, see you later, got a backpack, bye.
I'll say, where are you heading to first?
Right.
Yeah, and then I'll be excited for them.
Would you insist would you insist they have some kind of technology, a phone where you can contact them, that sort of thing? Or?
Yeah, I would recommend that. Actually, like back in the day, so there wasn't much Wi-Fi. People were using guidebooks. Nowadays, everywhere you can get Wi-Fi. It's astonishing. You can be, opposite Mount Everest and there's Wi-Fi at the top. Yeah. So it's incredible. So definitely taking a phone, and you can even, like, if you travel alone in India, there are phone apps where you can get taxis, that are legal, and you can follow your journey home. So you make sure that you're going to the appropriate place. Also, then your hostel address always, and a map and directions so you know where you're going as well. Just keeping a copy of your passport as well, emergency money like US hidden dollars in your bag, padlocks on your bags, but also it's not flashing your valuables, making sure that you're being sensible with your belongings, which is, what you would say in any major city in the world.
Is there anywhere you wouldn't go?
No.
Wow. There is nowhere you wouldn't go because you've clearly got a very level head about you. You're very wise. You've got travel experience behind you. You've got this wonderful phrase of gut instinct kind of guiding you through. So pretty much anywhere in the world should not be written off to you. No,
I don't think so. I mean, I know a lot of people who've travelled solo throughout the Middle East. I've hitchhiked to the Middle East on my own before, so there's nothing to be afraid of at the end of the day for me personally, because I feel if you adhere to these safe tips and you believe in the positive energy and strong energy, if you come across strong, then I think you'll attract the right people. Because if you come across fearful and weak, then people will prey on your vulnerability.
Wow. It's really good advice. Vicky Carter, who has done a good deal of travelling, now at 27, so that's 10 years essentially going around the world. And there have been one or two areas of slight concern, but they've all been dealt with. And gut instinct, technology, and looking after mum and dad mid-trip, all part of that advice. Vicky, great talking to you. Thank you. Where are you going next, by the way?
I'm obsessed with Canada at the minute, so I might do the East Coast once again, or I really want to go to Mongolia. So one of the two, both if I can, really.
It's a bit chilly up there. Take a hat.
Thank you.
Vicky, thank you so much for your time.